What's this? Who's this? Oh, who's this? Oh, this is Sonetta.
Hold on. Okay. Sonetta, I gotta hit you up when I'm done. That's Sonetta. Sonetta, I'll hit you up when I'm done. I should have hooked up with you today, Sonetta, but we'll talk. We'll talk, Sonetta. Go past 110th Street. I want to go to Melbourne.
See, this is what you gotta understand. That Kundalini shit come from the snake, Dambala, dual serpent, right? African Americans been practicing, slaves been practicing hoodoo, voodoo, right? All the famous dudes, Benjamin Banneker, all of them, Harriet Tubman, okay? All the greats was into this, right? And don't get it twisted that hoodoo and ritual work is all one. It's the dual snake, right? Voodoo, hoodoo, spell book, right? It's not or, right? Queens, witches, voodoo spirits, and hoodoo saints. You see how it's and hoodoo and voodoo. Ain't no separating them, right? Magic, witchcraft, conjure, mojo, New Orleans voodoo, voodoo, hoodoo, and African magic. See, it's all African magic, okay? This is a real thing, hoodoo, voodoo. It's not, you don't separate your arm. It's left and right hand. It's all the same, right? They got spell books of hoodoo, voodoo. If hoodoo wasn't voodoo, you couldn't do this, right? This is numerous examples. You can pause and read anything if you think I doctored this shit. These are all books, cold-blooded books. Hoodoo, God's magic, right? You doing magic. Okay, magical work and psalms. Okay, it's giving you, so you understand how even that Hebrew sign is a magic sign. I've been telling y'all, right? This is, you can't unhook this, right? Pause and read. I ain't gonna talk your ear off. Pause and read. Shout out Honorable Sienna, right? This for you, babe. Pause and read. It's magic. It's spell work. It's conjure. It's divination. It's justice and revenge, right? The feather is voodoo, right? Maybe you need the beginner's book of spells, right? Understand what magic and spells and shapes and symbols, you gotta understand this shit. This is spell and tarot, okay? Hoodoo is voodoo. This shit come from the African secret societies, right? I done did the research on this shit. Most of you motherfuckers is West African. We are West African, okay? All that Boule, Illuminati, Black Greek society, right? All that Caribbean, you know, we found out what the Boule is, right? We know that language is Lexifer, Lucifer, Luxor, right? We know the Jamaicans is doing Obey. They swear they wasn't doing witchcraft. Jamaican Obey is voodoo, is hoodoo. Okay, you got this is all, it's all the same. The same way voodoo is Freemasonry, right? We did the research on that, okay? That's where they got the sign from. Let's go.
In the rhythm of life, there's a melody that dances with every step we take. And in those steps, there's a tale of legacy, of culture, and of the spirits that guide us. Introducing root work, where tradition and heritage intertwine. Crafted from the essence of foundational Black American root work deodorant is more than just a scent. It's a connection to the spirits of our ancestors, with 6 enchanting scents to choose from, each infused with the potent High John the Conqueror root, known for its healing and protective properties. Long-lasting and enchanting, root work deodorant will keep you feeling fresh while embracing the spirit of Mojora, the very essence of root work culture. Root work deodorant, where tradition and heritage intertwine. Experience the power at rootworkstyle.com. Let your spirit dance in the rhythm of root work.
The all-natural, foundational Black American-based deodorant infused with the magic of High John the Conqueror root. Our unique blend enriched with this legendary root offers 24-hour protection, rooted in the power of nature. Embrace this deodorant that celebrates culture, history, and your well-being. Unlock the magic of Rootwork today. Experience the pure essence of nature. Visit rootworkstyle.com and make the switch to a healthier, cultural choice.
Black American culture of root work, and some Negroes got scared. They were like, "Ooh, don't be Black American culture of root work," and some Negroes got scared. They were like, "Ooh, don't be teaching people that now. That opens up evil spirits. The devil's gonna get us. You shouldn't be telling people about them spirits now." So a couple of people are bucking their eyes. "Ooh, don't talk about that hoodoo. You trying to get people in trouble. That the devil." You Sambo, ain't nothing to do with the devil or evil spirits. You can stop being scared of your culture. Half the shit black folks do in churches based on hoodoo. You better know your history, man. Some of your grandmothers practice hoodoo. They just don't call it that. That's what it was called back in the day. Y'all let white people flip things and scare you with your own culture. And they scare you because it's some shit that actually worked for you. Like I was explaining in the broadcast, many of the brothers and sisters who was getting off these plantations and becoming very successful, most of them were practicing some form of hoodoo or root work. That's why we had our shit together for the most part inside of the system of oppression.
Broadcast. We're talking about hoodoo. What is hoodoo? We've been kind of touching on that for the last few weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, that's tying into what we got. The deodorant product we have is available now. We got a deodorant brand, and the name of the brand is called Rootwork. Alright? That's our deodorant brand. We have a deodorant brand called Rootwork. That's the deodorant brand. And right now we have the Alright, that's the Rootwork website. And we'll scroll down on the Rootwork website. And this smells very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very, very good scent. Extremely good scent. We scroll down and explains what Rootwork is. It's unisex for men and women. It's a deodorant where heritage meets natural wellness. Our all-natural deodorant draws inspiration from the profound culture of foundational Black American root work, a revered tradition that flourished for centuries in the southern United States. And you can read that. And there's this book right here that comes with it, Mysteries of the Root, ladies and gentlemen. This is a brief book that gives you an introduction to what root work and hoodoo is and how that ties in, because that's something that's not talked about in our culture. We have to start gatekeeping our culture. Somebody said, be careful with hoodoo. Now see, let me tell you something. Hoodoo, a lot of folks don't even know the real deal about hoodoo. A lot of folks don't know the real deal about hoodoo. Hoodoo, they think hoodoo and voodoo are the same thing. They're similar, but they are different. All right? Voodoo and hoodoo, they're similar, but it's different. No, Jackie, you're going to get a whole bunch of other stuff. Hell, the DVDs, it's the two DVDs, that's like damn $60 alone. Then a book, then the deodorant. Come on, that's a great deal. That's a phenomenal deal. But listen, a lot of folks don't know the truth about hoodoo and voodoo. Hoodoo is a primarily foundational Black American tradition. All right? There are some things that were drawn from Africa centuries ago. A lot of things were cultivated here. There were some things taken from the black Aboriginal natives here, and there were some things that were created and cultivated from foundational black Americans in slavery. So all of these things came together and became a foundational black American custom. People get voodoo and hoodoo mixed up. Voodoo is basically, you worship a deity. Voodoo is a religion, okay? Voodoo is a religion. Yes, somebody said Dr. Sebi is more like hoodoo, and Dr. Sebi has spoken about how black Americans, we are closer to liberation than any other group, especially in Africa, because we don't have the tribal differences. But hoodoo is a primarily foundational black American package. They try to say, no, because no, hoodoo is not a religion. Hoodoo is really about healing, wellness, connecting to nature and the spirit realm. But it's not where you're worshiping one deity like voodoo. Voodoo is a religion. Hoodoo, you're tapping into the spirit realm, you're tapping into the plants, the trees, the weather. You're using your spiritual essence to tap into some of those frequencies. Okay? And we understood a lot of this stuff when we were enslaved and coming out of slavery. And there's a reason why they started making hoodoo a negative thing. The hoodoo practitioners were also called root workers. Now they say herbalists, but a lot of the hoodoo practitioners, they would call them conjurers, they would call them root workers. That's why we named the deodorant root work. That was a very common term. We, as foundational black Americans, we understood the agrarian culture and how to tap in to these natural energies. People like George Washington Carver, he was a root man, all right? We got a lot of power from that stuff. That's why it's been erased from our culture. George Washington Carver, black people in the black press during his lifetime, they referred to him as a root man, all right? I want y'all to understand. So how is this different from Wiccan? Now, that European stuff is different. Because with us, man, with the hoodoo, with the root work, you got to have a certain spirit with that. And we were tapping into some of the ancestors who suffered, and some of them said, we're going to pass our spirit to you, so I'll sacrifice myself so you use my spirit so that
This is things that make you go, voodoo versus hoodoo? If you have any interest in magic, witchcrafts, faith healing, you've likely heard of both voodoo and hoodoo. Even though these two things look the same, they are two distinct belief systems. Voodoo is sometimes considered more pure than hoodoo, but hoodoo is a denomination of voodoo. An example of this would be Catholicism and Christianity. Voodoo arose in Haiti, whereas hoodoo arose in Africa. Both were practiced by oppressed people who were brought to America via slavery. Now, hoodoo is not a religion. It's actually a mixture of African and European folkloric practices and Native American botanical knowledge. Now, voodoo is a structured religion and very much a part of the Haitian culture. They worship a god Bondi, but they don't speak to him directly. They speak through other spirits who assist him. Even though voodoo is the root from which hoodoo grew, voodoo is more than a religion. It's a way of life. This is things that make you go.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give you, some other examples of some books, right? Okay, voodoo and hoodoo, ritual magic, folk magic, this is all the same, okay? Even Donald Duck and them knew this. Okay, etymology, vu, ve, w, who, vu, right? It's you gotta understand etymology and linguistics, understand that it's nothing to swap that H and V, right? It's one and the same, right? You gotta understand Creole and Pidgin. Okay, let me make it make sense to you, right? You see all hoodoo, voodoo, and conjure work, it's all the same. But let me make it make sense to you. When motherfuckers, I don't wanna keep saying that, when the slaves was getting, moved around, they were speaking Creole and Pidgin and Lexifer, these languages that was broken and comprised. So when you understand patois, I did the video on the Old Bay, go check it out, right? Hoodoo and Voodoo, right? Check out the titles of these books, okay? These are books showing you that hoodoo is voodoo. It's comma and it ain't no or, okay? Okay, take a good look. It's all African American traditional spirituality, right? Y'all got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. Okay, we just scrolling the book list, right? It's more. Hold on, it's more. Okay, hoodoo is voodoo. Santeria is Orisha, is Yoruba, is Ifa, is West African, is Congo, right? Root work, rituals, and divination. That's grandma. That's grandma with the Hoodoo Tarot workbook. Okay, tarot. Grandma, look at grandma with the feather in her hat. Right? The feather in the hat is a voodoo thing. A lot of people keep talking about Native American and Moorish and African. Signs and symbols, man, for the eyes who can see. Right? Even the gypsy. Come on, man, the troglodyte knew it was hoodoo and voodoo. It ain't no. That's like index finger, middle finger. Like how you separate and like you I guess. But you're one person. So when somebody say, hey, you, it's you. It ain't you and your left hand. Right? Hoodoo for beginners, man. Spell work, root magic, conjuring, herbs, tradition, and more. Okay? It's more. All of those have comma. All of this is for the beginners. The beginners need to know it's root magic, spell work, herbs, traditional, history, conjuring. Spiritual word of Africa, manifest success with spells. Come on, man, you could put a root on somebody, ask them it's a good or bad. Like stop playing. Come on, man. Voodoo, and hoodoo, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Explore the evolution of Caribbean magic, right? So that's what I'm saying is when the people that practice voodoo get other places, they still practice voodoo, but they don't have the same plant life. They don't have the same environment to do certain rituals. So them doing voodoo in different locations, right? They would just call it something else. You still doing the original traditional practice. Santeria, voodoo, and you see how all these things have commas. It's and. Stop. I'm gonna show y'all. Tariq Nasheed tried to separate hoodoo and voodoo. We might have to just do a reaction to that whole live because he really was taking callers trying to talk motherfuckers, you know what I mean, into it. But the root work, the conjure, the spirit, the magic, okay, the herbal. Come on, man. Come on, man. Hidden plants. Okay? The who. Right? You see how they sometimes will put the D-O-U. Right? You gotta understand etymology. There's beginners. You see the snake on the staff in the upper left corner. You see the feather in the crystal. You see the wicker moon. You see the voodoo dog. You see the crystal down the bottom. You see the one-eye symbolism. Wealth, love, power, revenge, success. Come on, man. Revenge, justice, hoodoo. What do you mean? My mojo working. You got voodoo spell books, hoodoo spell books. It's in the same book. That's why I say I gave y'all some notes. Really, don't take my word for it. I did the research for you. I ain't read it to you like a bedtime story, right? This is African spirituality, right? In different, when you in the Caribbean, they call it Obed, they call it Santeria, they call it Botanica. When you get to Gullah Geechee, New Orleans, the South, they call it hoodoo. When you go back to motherfucking Mali and Congo and Bantu, they call it voodoo. It's this is insane like that. You gonna let a motherfucker like, you see the snake has come from voodoo, right? And see, you gotta think, when they get to talking about all these, when they try to spin you and tell you something means something, do your own research, man. I did it for you this time. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'm out.